Hey everyone, my name is Sharon and I am a crypto enthusiast, also based as a co-founder of Kamusi Dao, where we basically just simplify web3 terminology and translate them into Swahili. I am so happy to be on the podcast. This is like my first time on a podcast. So yeah, thank you for having me. How are you today?
I'm fine, and yeah, I'm honored to have you on the show. And yeah, what are we going to talk about today? I said I'd let you introduce the topic because it's
Okay. Yeah, today we're going to talk about crypto lingo. There's a lot of terminology that honestly just goes over our heads sometimes because, like for example, DYOR for someone who's not in the space, they can sort of miss that, and that's why we're here to break it down.
yeah, and I guess the crypto lingo kind of inspired me to start this show. I remember I was doing something and then DYR crossed my mind, and I said,
hmm
"Wow, how about we just start our three podcast show about DYR?"
So what was your thoughts when starting DYOR?
Um, okay, I've been in the space for a few, it's less than a year, but
hmm
I've met a lot of people in the Web3 space and I was so amazed by what's happening. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to share a piece of what I was experiencing with the rest of the world. So when
hmm
the DRR thing crossed my mind, I just
hmm
said that I'll start a show where I just
hmm
invite people in the Web3 space and then we just speak about the contributions that they do in the Web3 space and
Yeah.
all the relevant topics in blockchain and crypto.
Okay. Well, so far so good. I've loved your episodes so far. They're actually
Yeah,
quite informative, and how you get those guests. Oh my God, blows my mind.
yeah, it's the same way I got you. I just approached and I said, hey, won't you come today and we discuss something on crypto lingo? And
Yeah.
uh, by good luck, you said yes. So it's not that
Yeah.
difficult.
I wish I had the courage.
You have the courage. So you said we start with the first one, DYR. What what it
Yeah.
is and what's its relevance in the block space.
hmm
So I'll start with this one because it's the name of my show. So
Yeah.
DYOR just means do your own do your
Research.
own research. Yeah, and
hmm
it's usually used mostly by uh, the people who have stayed in the crypto space for longer and have,
Yeah.
let me use the term, suffered some kind of setbacks. So they encourage uh, anyone who wants to ask, or rather anyone who is too inquisitive to get out of the comfort zone and do his or her own research by following up on the news, reading
Yeah.
about the white papers of a certain project and stuff like that. That's according to my opinion. Probably I get an opinion from you about DIY.
I'd actually say the same thing. Um, we are encouraged to just do, our own research. This way, when we are making investment choices or, just learning in the space, it's not really led by someone else. Because you'll find that there are cryptocurrency projects or NFTs or, other projects. It's to really make you aware of the risks that are associated with investment in the space. Um, the space is quite volatile, so we wouldn't want people blaming one another for wrong decisions made. Yeah.
And uh, some influencers also use it a lot when they're promoting probably certain projects to kind of absolve themselves of the risk or of a
Yeah.
backlash. that may come with the promotion of the project. So, for instance, if I was shilling, let me
Yeah.
use a coin that is not in the market. Or we'll talk about shilling. I
Mm-hmm.
guess let's talk about shilling next. So, if I was shilling
Yeah.
DYR coin, uh,
Mm.
I'll tell my followers and whoever is listening to do your own research so that whenever there is a backlash, I'm not to be blamed sort of because of kind of offered some kind of a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Now because
I
of
usually see
uh
usually see that DYOR and NFA. I think we're also gonna talk about that.
yeah. So what's shilling?
Shilling is basically just promoting or advertising something. And most of the times it's usually in a deceptive manner.
Mhm.
So like in the example that you gave, if I'm an influencer and I'm getting paid for, shilling a product, then I'm getting financial gains from this. Whether or not the public suffers, that's not my problem. Uh, so yeah, I'm sort of like a neutral participant. I'm just like telling you about this product, whether or not you take it, that's on you. And if anything goes wrong, then you know I warned you. DYOR.
Yeah, and sometimes it's used in a deceptive manner by someone who pretends to be satisfied by probably the project. So
Um, do
yeah,
you think that shilling can be like a positive thing?
um, sometimes it could be because let's use the example of probably Pepe. So in the
Mm-hmm.
earlier days, I guess in April, I saw a lot of people shilling, and if I did my own research and got into it, it would
Yeah.
have turned out to be positive because it did, I guess, 9 million% rise. So the people who are shilling it, the people who listened and bought, it
Yeah.
turned out positive for them. But
Yeah.
for other projects that have this will lead to the next, probably the next term, who
Mm-hmm.
were wrecked by projects. Shilling sometimes is bad if you don't kind of do your own research. I think these terms are kind of interconnected. So yeah, it could be
Yeah.
positive if you do your own research and negative if you do not do your own research on whatever is being promoted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the term that you said, wrecked, it's basically just like a shipwreck. But now the spelling has been, modified a bit, REKT. It's basically a slang that's used for, describing someone that's been outplayed or just things didn't really go their way. Um, so yeah, something ruined basically.
Yeah.
And I would say I have been wrecked in the crypto space. Sort of why I'm a bit skeptical of the space at times. Yeah, I have a bit of a
Phobia.
not really phobia. What's that thing? PTSD.
Well, PTSD is not a crypto lingo, but yeah, it's okay. Um, I'd say you have been defeated by the market, being liquidated in the crypto market. So that's like being wrecked. So
Yeah,
probably you invest $600 in a certain project that someone shared for you, and you forgot to do your own research, and then now you get wrecked. I'm loving this how they are all interconnected.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's on wrecked. You were talking about NFA. I don't want us to skip that. NFA.
Yeah. Not financial advice. If I'm shilling a coin or something, and you know, uh, again, I do not want the repercussions that will come after me shilling it. I'll just be like, yo, that's not financial advice. So if
DYOR.
it goes wrong,
NFA, DYOR. Yeah.
Not financial advice. That's a disclaimer. I think that everyone who's shilling something should just have those two abbreviations at like the tip of their fingers because it's really used in the community.
Yeah. The use of NFA is especially uh, common in social media and the online forum groups, uh,
Yeah.
especially when individuals are sharing their opinions and experiences with crypto.
Hmm.
For example, I'll still use our coin. Um, we were using an example of the YOR coin. It's non-existent. It's just an example. So
Hmm.
maybe I'm telling you uh, buy DYOR, NFA, DYOR. So if you
Yeah.
get wrecked, I already told you it's not financial advice, so it's like a disclaimer.
Hmm.
I think at times these terms are very important, and we should pay more attention to them rather than just speaking them out. So if someone tells you do your own research, you should go and do your own research. If someone tells you NFA, you should find out why he or she is probably telling you NFA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I also feel like sort of this crypto lingo, it brings some sort of sense of community because, like, let's say if a text in a group, GM, whack me, it's they'll know what I mean, and it's sort of like, hey, that's my guy, family, what's up?
So you're saying cryptolingo kind of makes us
It's sort of a
identify as a
unifying.
community. Uh-huh.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's like a unifying factor.
Wagme, we are all gonna make it. Let's
Are
talk about
we?
Wagme.
Yeah, Wagme. We're all gonna make it.
Yeah,
Um, especially during the bear markets.
yeah. It's kind of an assurance to build
Yeah,
confidence to the community, not to
yeah,
kind of lose hope.
for
So
sure, for sure.
this slang is mostly used in the crypto community. Yeah, especially during bear runs. When we'll talk about bear run. Bear run is yeah, when the markets are kind of plummeting
Mm-hmm.
and the communities are losing hope. So the the degens, we talk about degens, or rather the people who believe in crypto will start saying, wag me, we are all gonna make it, and it builds kind of
Yeah.
confidence to the people. I realize there's a negative term for wag me, nick me. Have
Mm-hmm.
you ever heard about it?
Um, no,
NGMI, not,
no, but I suppose is it? Yeah, not gonna make it.
yeah. So it's
Okay, learned something new.
yeah, if you hear someone say NGMI, just know they've lost all hope. There's no hope for them. So these are
If I
some,
invested,
yeah,
if I invested like a couple $1,000 and it all goes to shit, then yeah, NGM.
NGMI, you have been wrecked. Let's move on to a certain favorite term, FOMO.
Yeah,
FOMO.
FOMO.
FOMO, what's fear of missing out to you?
Yeah,
What
that's
does it
something
mean?
that's something I suffer on. uh, yeah, because I really have FOMO, not just in like the crypto space, but like even in life. I feel like I am always missing out on something, and I don't want to do that. But this is basically in the market where investors and maybe traders feel that they would probably miss out on an opportunity. So you end up like investing or buying, like maybe if the DYOR token or coin gets some hype, Everyone is like, "Oh my God, I don't want to miss out on that." So they buy in, buy in, buy in, buy in, buy in, buy in. Yeah. So that's because of FOMO, and it's basically a group behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So if one person does it, then we all follow the follow the trend.
Yeah, like right now, Pepe FOMO is killing me. Last but last year the Dodge FOMO was killing
Mm,
me, and
yeah,
yeah, again the
but I
risk.
mean,
Yeah,
Dodge has been here for quite a while.
yeah. I mean,
So,
when it hit $0.78,
hmm
when the bull market was really on a high,
hmm
the FOMO kind of got a lot of people wrecked. So again, these things are just intertwined because you see Bitcoin rallying to 69,000. Then you remember Sharon once told you, hey, buy some Bitcoin, then now it's selling to 69K.
yeah,
You forget to do more research, you buy high, and then the market plummets, and then kind of NGMI, you get wrecked. So
yeah.
FOMO is pretty powerful, and uh, I could probably advise everyone in the crypto space not to fall for FOMO. Whenever a project soars and leaves you behind, just don't FOMO into it. There's always another project coming up.
I think also doing your own research is very important because
Mm-hmm.
that way you'll realize the pros and cons. So if the FOMO is legit and there's data to prove it, then you get it. But if you feel if it's not really worth it, then you don't really have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Uh,
guess the research part is actually very important.
yeah, and I'd try FOMO to, I usually call it food, FUD, fear,
Yeah,
uncertainty, and doubt.
uncertainty.
How do you pronounce it?
I usually say fad.
Ah, I call it food for some unknown reasons. Why
And
is
eat
this word
that.
called food? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Yeah.
So, well, when is this really significant, or when do we use FUD?
Um,
So
you
yeah,
know, fad.
yeah.
Like I'll give an example of right now when there's a lot of attacks happening in the crypto space.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that a lot of companies are being targeted. So people will be like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna like I don't know, like the exchange is gonna like crumble or whatnot." So there's that fear, and you find people selling off their coins, whatnot. There's a lot of uncertainty. So I would say that that is bad, and it's usually because of like a negative perception of a particular product, service, or a situation.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, but
it kind of creates a lot of uncertainty in the market,
yeah, precisely.
especially when there's some bad, let me call them just bad news
hmm
about some things happening. For example,
hmm
last year when when an exchange crashed, there was a lot of
hmm
bad happening. Some people were even saying crypto is done. Yeah.
We
So
should
that's
actually have a
yeah.
we should have like an episode or a Twitter space on that because
On
whether
FUD.
crypto is dead.
No, it's not good. Uh, crypto can never be dead. So you're actually spreading a lot of FUD right now in your talk. So
DYOR.
I will. I will. Uh-huh. Do you have interesting crypto lingo? I have so many.
Oh, a whale.
Oh, who is? Oh my God, that's my all. how can I say it? It's my dream to be a whale one day in the crypto space.
Right? Like a decision maker.
Yeah.
Really? Oh my
Um,
God. So for those who might not know, a whale is basically an individual or an entity that owns a large amount of, crypto. So if they decide to buy or sell, they will greatly impact the market. So let's say they sell the DYOR coin, it is gonna, the price is gonna plummet because everyone's gonna be like, why are they selling? Why are they selling? Oh my God, they have news or something. So,
they
the fund
spread
is
it.
gonna like spread
Uh-huh.
and everyone's gonna just sell their assets and,
Yeah.
yeah. So they basically just control the market because of how much crypto they have.
Yeah, like I guess my MicroStrategy,
Hmm.
they own hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. Okay.
Oh, that, yeah,
I'm not sure if they're well yet, but that's a lot of Bitcoin.
that's a lot. I
Mm.
mean, technically, we don't really have the set amount, that one must surpass to become a whale. Um, but I mean, one Bitcoin isn't a small amount of money. So yeah, to have like thousands of that,
Yeah, it's a
it's
lot of
crazy.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I ever own one Bitcoin, I'll consider myself a whale.
And then you retire and go live life.
Yeah, but again, the market can always wreck you anytime. You keep on building and believing. So on whales,
Mm-hmm.
you've said how they can manipulate the market. So let's move on to pump and dump in the
Yeah.
context of crypto. Uh, so pump, just from the name, is yeah, we know what pump is. The price of a token or a coin
Mm-hmm.
starts rising upwards, then dumping is when the price plummets. And just like you said, when someone is a whale, he may he may sell off the coins, and when that happens, he might dump in the market because he has sold the tokens. And pumping is
Ah,
now when people kind of pump their money into a certain project or coin, and the price starts rising and rising. I think pumping is kind of tied to FOMO.
mm-hmm.
Let me use Pepe now that we know how things happen. Oh,
Yeah.
when Pepe started becoming popular, there was a lot of FOMO. People were probably selling their other assets and pumping the money into Pepe, and the price kind of rose by, was it 9 million percent? That's like 9,000x. So it pumped, and now the whales who had Pepe
Mm-hmm.
sold off at very high prices, so they dumped on the market.
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
basically my perspective on pump and dump.
okay. So do you think that, a certain CEO or owner of a certain social media, a blue social media, do you think he helps in doing that, the pump and dump and shilling? Because he
Well,
really talks about this coin. Uh,
sure. Maybe I'll talk in a general perspective.
mhm.
If there's a project and you don't do your own research on the project,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of shilling of the project, and there are a lot of influencers probably talking about the project and stuff, uh, you will realize that the coin is kind of pumping the token of the coin.
Mhm.
Then suddenly you become wrecked because now the project is not solid, and the people have already kind of made their money. Now it's time to exit the market. So when they dump on you,
Yeah.
you get the dump situation, and you get,
Mm-hmm.
sorry about that, and you get wrecked. So that's, I'm not sure about CEOs pumping and dumping because I do not have proof. So I'll just use examples.
Yeah.
I'll just postulate examples. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you, if you are the owner of a coin, uh, Kamusi Dao token, and then
Mm-hmm.
you get some really influential people to start talking about it in the market, and there's a lot of activities, and people start pumping, selling off their DIR tokens and putting the money, so it pumps. Then suddenly dump on the market. So yeah, I think entities or individuals can influence pumping and dumping at times.
Okay. Which actually brings me to the next point, like weak hands.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it comes.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm at times, I do have weak hands at times,
Hmm.
cause I'm like, yo, the price is going down at a very fast pace. So, I pull out.
Or you sell
Mhm.
low, you buy high and sell low. Weak hands.
At times, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, so I guess that's someone who's actually like influenced by, market fluctuations to sell the positions, to sort of just help mitigate with the loss. Because
That's
you're
true.
like, I'd rather just sell it when it's like, I don't know, 26K rather than when it goes down all the way to like 16K. So
Yeah,
that saved my ass.
yeah. And I think I'll on the contrary, I'm a diamond fan.
Hmm.
I believe in blockchain and crypto, and I
Yeah.
see some kind of a long-term focus. So I'm a diamond hand. So diamond hands, they don't sell, they never sell, they just hold and wait for the right moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And I think we forgot to talk about rug pulling in the context of being wrecked. So a rug pull happens, then you experience being wrecked.
What's a
So
rug pull?
just from the name, it's just a type of scam in the crypto
Hmm.
space. Just like we were talking about someone influencing a coin, and um, I mean talking about it. So the devs, or rather the creators, will
Hmm.
suddenly, or rather even unexpectedly, withdraw their funds and abandon the project. It will leave, mostly it leaves investors and the people who put their money there with
Hmm.
kind of worthless digital goods. And to be honest, I was part of certain rug pool when I was entering the crypto space. I first learned of a coin. I'm not gonna mention its name, but yeah, there was a lot of influencing about the coin. There were weekly meetings and stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, the founders were assuring us to stake. We'll talk about what staking is. To stake and
Hmm.
lock your coins for a certain period. There are good returns. You remember how Bitcoin started at
Hmm.
$2.5? Yes, let's swap our, now you are swapping BNB or other tokens to that coin, then you hold. Then suddenly we just saw the website started misbehaving, and the weekly meetings were no more. And
Oh no.
when you tried to kind of convert your tokens to now the tradable tokens like probably BNB and stuff, uh,
Hmm.
it was no longer possible. All the liquidity was gone, so they abandoned the project, and we were properly wrecked, rather. Yeah, and the rug pull
Oh,
happened. It also
Wow.
happens on NFTs a lot. I've seen a lot
Mm-hmm.
of expensive NFTs uh, that were hundreds of thousands of dollars coming back to probably $10.
Mm-hmm.
So such projects are usually drug pulls, and that's
Okay.
why we encourage all of you to do your own research
Mm-hmm.
and don't
Indeed.
FOMO into projects.
If a deal sounds too good, DYOR.
Yeah. So when are we mooning?
Pardon?
When are we mooning? When someone says
2024?
moon, what does that mean?
Ooh. A moon. Well, I mean, it's basically just, you know, it is bullish context. So let's see, the next bull market, probably 2024, 2025. So, we hope to see a rise in the price of the coins, at least a 10x. So,
NFA.
NFA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's just an expression of optimism and, excitement. And, just any project actually that comes up, with potential to like rise. Um, you know, also, I don't know.
But
Do you feel like the next halving will like shoot Bitcoin's price to like out of this world?
okay, first of all, NFA. Then
NFA.
now I'll talk about what I think. So
Hmm.
Bitcoin halving is just how I won't speak about the difficult terms, but the mining difficulty is gets even harder. So
Yeah.
the blocks produced, if if the last cycle one block was being produced, now it's going to be half. Am I right?
Yeah.
So with everything, just basic rule of the universe, whenever something is scarce,
Scarce.
it becomes more valuable.
True.
So using that notion, I guess the next halving, probably Bitcoin price will moon. Let me use now the term. Yeah, will moon.
Woohoo.
Probably it will moon. However, remember what we talked about. Uh, uh, FOMO,
DYOR.
yeah, not just your FOMO, pump and dump, whales.
Yeah.
They might kind of manipulate the markets. Yes, it will
Mhm.
rise in price, and probably someone has 1 million coins. He might dump, he might pump. So there's so many things that might happen, but other factors constant, uh, we expect to moon. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Uh,
Um, so at this point, the price of Bitcoin is not really encouraging.
mhm.
So people actually encourage right now to like buy the dip.
Yeah, by the dip.
Um, this is where you're you're told to just buy assets when the asset price is going, low.
It's plummeting.
This is usually, yeah, this is usually the strategy of, most investors. You buy when the asset is low and just hope that one day the price will move. One day.
Yeah,
What if it never moves?
it never moons. You will be wrecked.
Don't know.
Basic
Um,
NTMI. Uh, can you tie buying the dip to also DCAing? So when someone tells you to DCA,
mhm.
uh, it just means dollar cost averaging. So, well,
Yeah,
though
it's actually cheaper that way.
DCAing doesn't care about buying the dip, just DCA. What DCA means is just dollar cost averaging. Ah,
Yeah. So you buy a small amount over a certain period of time, and you'll get that the average price that you
About
get for the said coin is, a pretty good price. So you can buy maybe when Bitcoin is at 60,000. You can buy when it's at 20,000,
16,000. Mm-hmm.
16, yeah, whatever. Just buy small amounts. And, when you do the calculation and the average, you get that the price that you get it for is actually pretty fair.
Yeah, and it's a strategy that is really useful, especially if you are a diamond hunt and a long-term holder. I
Yeah. What?
guess there's a time I was reading about how MicroStrategy have accumulated their coins, and they have actually been using dollar cost averaging. So
Mhm.
they just buy, they don't care, but they buy uh, in small amounts.
Mhm.
So for example, let me use a typical example. Let's say I work somewhere and I earn probably 50,000 shillings.
Yeah.
Then I'll say every month, every end month when I get paid, I'll be setting
Mhm.
aside 12,000 shillings to buy small amounts of certain coin, let's say Bitcoin,
Yeah.
for 3 years, regardless of the price. So that's
Mhm.
dollar cost averaging. And buying the dip is you just wait for the market to plummet, then you collect the assets. But DCA is
Yeah.
all across, whether it's buying the dip, whether it's buying high. Yeah, so I think that's also a really important crypto lingo.
So we are all advised to have diamond hands.
Yeah, and do do what? DCA, dollar cost average. Don't
Yeah.
time the market. Never time the market. Um,
Yeah.
let's move on to something really interesting that brings a lot of debate in the crypto space.
Mhm.
Who is a Bitcoin maximalist? If I say I'm a maximalist.
So a pretty interesting conversation. I was having a conversation with someone, and they're a maxi.
Mm-hmm.
They actually told me that we made a bet, and they said that they would make me a maxi by the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm waiting to see that happen. But I would say it's working, but like not completely.
Uh-huh.
But a maxi is basically someone who believes that Bitcoin is the only or best crypto that has real value and potential in the long run. Um, so they believe that Bitcoin is like the most secure, decentralized, and scarce asset.
Mm-hmm.
And being the fact that it's been there for all this time, it's proven resilience. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you see the way they talk about other coins and cryptocurrencies, they're just like, no, that's inferior. So, Bitcoin is always superior. Bitcoin is king. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting how they are so firm in their belief, and it's always the group is just so united. Like you'll never catch a Bitcoin maxi going against another Bitcoin maxi. They'll definitely eat the shit out of like another degen, but for like a maxi, they'll go hard for them, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. They tend to advocate for Bitcoin over other crypto,
Yeah.
and they criticize other crypto assets and blockchains. So uh, yeah, those other cryptos are called altcoins. So
Hmm.
an altcoin is just any other crypto, but that is not Bitcoin.
Okay.
They're just alternative coins.
Hmm.
So probably in the context of web3,
Hmm.
they are built on top of decentralized networks.
Yeah.
and yeah, they have potential to offer more advanced features and functionality, what we call scalability in short. And today we're not talking about super technical terms. Um,
Okay.
who is a
Um,
normie? Do you want to talk about a normie after this maxi,
yeah,
a normie,
for sure.
maxi, and an altcoiner? So what do you,
Um, I'd say um I am a healing normie. Like, I mean, I still get some of the terms, and I can run a conversation in the space and whatnot, but I still feel like I'm still new, relatively new, because I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I've been here since 2017," and I'm like, "I'm barely a year in." So, basically, a normie is just someone who's new, or to the space, to the crypto space. They might not have a lot of knowledge or experience
Mhm,
with crypto or digital technology. So yeah, that's what a normie is.
mhm. Um, flippening. When is
Ooh,
the term
you wanna?
flippening used? I should have pared it down
And
to pumping and dumping.
yeah. Um, I mean, this is basically when another, another coin or currency is like the dominant one, and not the king
Do you,
itself.
do you ever see such a situation happening? The closest coin to Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
altcoin to Bitcoin is right now ETH. Do you see it
Ethereum.
ever flipping Bitcoin?
Um, I would say, hmm. I mean, Ethereum has a lot of use cases, and you know,
It's deflationary. It has really cool features too.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But I mean, Bitcoin has been the OG since like forever. But
Mhm,
then again, Ethereum was created to just solve the problems that Bitcoin had. So there is potential for that happening, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, uh, art. I don't know how you pronounce it. I pronounce it as art, all time high.
ATH?
Yeah, I just call it art for some weird reason. So, do you
Okay.
see probably it hitting an all time high and flipping in Bitcoin?
Maybe, maybe not.
Hmm.
Again, these markets are unpredictable.
Hmm.
So I've learned to just go with the flow. If I'm losing money, I'm losing money. If I'm gaining, good for me.
Hmm. You, you're a diamond and yet to turn you into a maxi. Fascinating.
Interesting times, interesting times.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening in this space. So, uh,
Mm.
there's a very important aspect that we need to talk about, or rather, uh, slang that we need to talk about
Yeah.
because we interact with them day to day.
Hmm.
Dex and
Sex.
sex. Yes.
Sex.
Which one do we start with? My favorite is Dex, though. Yeah. You
Okay.
talk about
So are you
sex. I'll talk about
okay?
Dex.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about
Now let's be serious.
no. Come on, this is not a classroom.
Huh?
This is not a classroom. But yeah, sex is CEX for those who might not know, and it's basically a centralized exchange. So, you know, an exchange that is controlled by a central authority, So when you think of us of sex, think of Binance. And one of the features, or rather some of the characteristics, you'll see that there is a KYC, know your customer. So there's also the AML, which is anti-money laundering process. So yeah, you're basically protected as a user. So if there's a situation where a buyer or a seller is acting weird, you can just go to customer support and the issue will be solved. Yeah, I think that's as a normie coming into the space, I think sexes are the safest way to come into the space because you have the support. There's also the educational material, and the platforms are usually easier to use compared to Dex. I'm sure you'll touch on that. So yeah, but one advice: I do not advise you to keep your assets on exchanges. It can be dangerous, so you'd rather just put them in wallets. Exchanges are just for that, exchanging. So once you're done with your transactions, whether you're buying or selling, get your money off exchanges and put them somewhere safe. And as usual, you do not put your assets in one basket. You have to put them in different areas. But yeah, if you do your own research, then you will know this.
Yeah,
Yeah, so talk about DX, DEX.
DEX. Perhaps you forgot to say how important CEX are important in the crypto world. So they provide a lot of services like staking. They offer loans. They offer trading platforms. They offer on and off ramping. A lot of stuff. Yeah. Now let me move to DEX, decentralized exchange. So they're pretty much like, well, SEX is pretty much like DEX, except SEX has kind of a centralized authority governing. So in DEX, they are guided by smart contracts. They
Yeah.
don't have a central point of control and typically run using a smart contract. So here, the DEX there's no custody over the user's funds. So the funds are managed by smart contracts. So the X's or other DEXs, you can do everything that you can do on the sexes except you are in charge of your
Transactions and
coins
funds.
and tokens.
Yeah.
Probably some other time we'll find time and talk about the pros and cons of both of these DEXs and sexes.
I mean, I would say the one pro of sexes is liquidity because you have higher trading volumes uh, because there are more users, so you can easily find buyers or sellers for your assets. So yeah, you have like faster and more efficient transactions. But also an advantage of DXs, decentralized exchanges, is the enhanced privacy. Because when you create an account with a centralized exchange, you have to do the KYC. But with DEX, you just need you don't even need to have your name there. Like, just do your thing, create a pseudonymous name. Yeah, and you can transact.
Yeah, your name is your wallet address. So I want to talk about DeFi theoretically. One of my friends at Kotani, Abi, shout out to Abi. Kotani are doing an amazing work of on and off ramping crypto and fiat. So we often joke with her about how to pronounce DeFi. So I'm sure if she hears this, she'll kill me for that. So d5 goes hand in hand with dexes, and c5 goes hand in hand with sexes.
Mhm.
I guess we can't exhaust all the crypto slang.
We
So
can't.
yeah, that's all that we had for tonight's show. And we'll
Ah,
probably have. Do you have another one or?
I mean, I just maybe wanted to, understand you know, the importance of crypto lingo, especially in the community.
Uh-huh.
There's definitely, I feel like cryptolingo enhances more effective communication within the community, because it provides a common language for discussing and maybe understanding complex concepts. Um, yeah, so it also allows, participants to sort of share specific ideas, maybe information, and engage in meaningful discussions. Uh, because, when we talked about WAGMI, Dion research, it can lead to like more serious conversations, right?
Yeah, and even raise curiosity, and someone can now even get interested in knowing
Yeah, for
what's all
sure.
this about.
For sure, for sure, for sure. I also feel like it can lead to community building because, you have that sense of community among enthusiasts. Like maybe we say GM, WAGMI, you know, you feel like you share a common language. So participants can sort of like connect with like-minded individuals and, participate in discussions and whatnot. Also, like as you mentioned earlier, the it really fosters industry awareness and education. um, you know,
For example, if I tell you DYOR or NFA, yeah, so yeah, I lost you for a minute, but I can just wind up on what you are talking about before we
um,
bring the show to a close.
okay. Yeah, so I feel like, talking about this lingo can, you know, foster industry awareness and education. And you can stay informed about the latest developments, trends, and maybe innovations by reading white papers, technical documentations, articles, and even like online engagements. Like I see a very active in like a lot of crypto groups. So that's also a way to grow as an individual in the space.
Hmm.
And I think to just sum it up, uh, you know, for a person who hasn't been in the space for quite a while, I feel like you're doing a fantastic job.
Hmm.
So you keep at it.
Thank
What
you,
me?
welcome DYOR. So where can someone probably follow your works in the crypto space at all? Can you talk about probably shortly what you do at Kamusi Dao? I'm looking forward to do a crypto lingo in Swahili someday.
Oh my God, you should definitely come and do that. I have the perfect person for that.
Uh-huh.
But basically at Kamusi Dao, we just simplify the language. There's a lot of technical uh, terms that can be a real turn off. Like let's say when you say NFTs, versus, a digital asset. I mean, I don't know, something sounds simpler, and we're just looking for that something that will be more attractive to a normie, um, because this space can be intimidating. Um, I should know because I do feel intimidated at times. uh, but yeah, we want to just foster adaptation of the technology because, I feel like this was built for us. This technology was made for us. So why not take advantage of it? So education is definitely at the forefront of our mission. Um, so yeah, you can follow our work on Twitter and LinkedIn, Kamusi Dao. I am on LinkedIn as well as Sharon Murugi. Yeah, thank you so much. I feel like I would say my Twitter, but like that's for my personal use.
You could drop Kamusi Dao's Twitter handle if it's okay.
Yeah. So the Kamusi Dao Twitter is Kamusi Dao or at KamusiYaWeb3. Yeah. And on LinkedIn, it's just Kamusi Dao.
Right. Our show is DYOR_show. My Twitter handle is suspended right now, so we'll just use at DYOR show.
What did you do?
I have no idea. Probably I was chilling, but I wasn't chilling. I just found it being on suspension mode. So you can find this episode in all the podcast distribution platforms and listen, and let's keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for.
Can I do the outro?
Yeah, sure. I thank God.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, please.
Thank you for having me on the show. This has been the DYOR podcast. You can find us on all major streaming platforms. You definitely don't want to miss this and other episodes. So subscribe and listen. Thank you for listening this far. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whatever, wherever you are. Have a great fucking day. Bye.
GN. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
All right.